What's going on, Fantasy fam? It's Mike Reid again here with Yards Per Fantasy for the newest edition of Fantasy Read and React. And we had some big-time fantasy news today as the Jacksonville Jaguars continue their stellar front office ways and released running back Leonard Fournette, and that caused a huge ripple effect for fantasy football. As Leonard Fournette was already one of the most polarizing fantasy players already. You're either in the camp where you were not touching him at all, just due to the fact he's on one of the worst teams in the league and a very inefficient runner, or you really liked that just he had the sheer volume. He was a top 10 running back last year, even with a really bad team around him, and he's a good value. Right now he is going around the 4th, 5th round in some leagues, so we're getting a RB2 in a really good spot. Obviously, this changes a lot of things, winners, losers, and where Leonard Fournette can end up. As for winners, Chris Thompson is definitely a big winner, in my opinion. In PPR league especially, he was already going to get some good run as a receiving back there in Jacksonville. Now, just pushes more. They're just going to be way behind in most games. He's going to have a lot of value. He'll probably get 5 to 6 catches a game, honestly, and room for much more than that. Michael Armstead is there, and he should take some of mostly the first and second down work. But to be honest, I mean, Fournette only had 3 touchdowns last year, so I'm not really high on Armstead, to be honest. And I mean, he's good as a bench stash kind of thing, and if you can get some volume going, that'll be great. But as a team that'll be playing from behind a lot, I don't think he has much value. So I think this actually helps, obviously, the passing game already more for fantasy. And DJ Chark, who a lot of people love already, I personally like to, was going around a top 25 wide receiver. He's going to see a lot of targets already. His increases his value. And then for me, a lot of people also like this guy is Laviska Shenault. He was one of my favorite rookies coming out of this class. And he played some running back actually in Colorado, some Wildcat quarterback. And I think he can see maybe around 20, 25 carries this year. And then just manufacture touches, kind of like a Deebo Samuel role with the 49ers last year. So I think he gets an uptick in touches, and he could do some stuff on the goal line too, goal line work. So he's I think a great late round target right now as a wide receiver, and then can see some groundwork as well. And obviously the big losers is Leonard Fournette. I mean, if you drafted him, I have a share him already, but if you drafted him already as your RB2, that's just a big hit, obviously. And it's really a wait-and-see mode where he gets signed. He's on waiver wire right now, so obviously the worst teams can claim him. And obviously another loser is potentially another backfield. Depending where he ends up, there's a huge ripple effect. There's a lot of teams getting thrown out there right now, and say like he were to go to a team like Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's a good spot for him. But as a Miles Sanders owner, I would be so mad. Like Miles Sanders has that backfield himself, and then Fournette comes in and will steal some touches, obviously. A ripple effect like that kind of thing. LA Chargers, another one that you could see. Austin Eckler, obviously he's not a huge back, but then he can come in and steal his touches as well. In my opinion, I think the best case scenario for Fournette is the other LA team, and that's the Rams. Obviously Cam Akers is there, who's done a very good job in camp so far from what everyone's hearing. But he's not obviously a workhorse yet. I think Fournette would be obviously a clear upgrade over him, but obviously Cam Akers still get some work as well. And I think a team that had 20 rushing touchdowns last year, which was top 5 in the NFL, I think if Fournette would go to a good offense like that, he would just obviously reclaim his value as a low-end RB2, high-end RB3. So I think that's best case scenario for Fournette. And there's already some breadcrumbs there. There's Jalen Ramsey, one of his good buddies from the Jaguars, who's probably already trying to recruit Fournette go to LA. So I think that's best case scenario. But we'll wait and see. I mean, if he gets claimed, obviously he has no choice where to go. But if he goes unsigned, he has the chance to pick his team, and he could even honestly wait to see if a starter gets hurt, or maybe like Dave Montgomery, his injury relapses and the Bears snag him kind of thing. So as right now, it's definitely a tricky situation for a lot of things right now, but keep it locked in at Yards Per Fantasy. Definitely have some more updates hopefully tomorrow or later in the week, and stay tuned, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.